Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
All right. Well, what I would recommend first is that we just talk about our background and experience that we have with the company or just in D2D. So I don't know, Jack, why don't you talk about that first?
Sure. I mean, if you watch the other episodes, you kind of will have heard a little bit about my background. But yeah, brought in by Quinn as a recruit from him through an Indeed ad. This will now be my 5th summer going on to D2D with Vantage. Worked in a couple different places, 3 cities, I guess 2 cities in a region over the course of the 5 years. I think who are the other people that have been in that long, like knocking doors still with the company? Like you,
Evan, me, Kevin,
Samo.
Mateo,
Samo, yeah. Samo and I were on our first year together. Drew, yep. Yeah, so there's a couple. But yeah, and equally as excited, if not double excited for this summer. And yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, I guess I'll do mine. I'll jump in. I'm already talking. I'm originally from Regina, Saskatchewan. I got involved, 18 years ago and just had the opportunity initially to start out in the U.S. Got my feet wet down there. Got to sell across Florida, Texas, California, a little bit all over through some of the Deep South. And then I think maybe my claim to fame in the industry is just that I was, the first person to start selling residential reoccurring pest control in Canada. Started that in Mississauga about 8 years ago now, and just started the company with my brother and my wife, and have kind of grown it in partnership with the rest of the group that we have here today, including Quinn and Noah and Jack, just to kind of where it is today. So I guess that's my background.
18 years, that's a salty dog.
That is a salty dog.
An old salty dog.
This is going into my 4th year. Got recruited by this handsome fella right there, Jack. Kind of laughed at him when he first mentioned it to me. You know, pest control. It's not a very sexy thing to sell, but end of the day, worked out well. Came home, said he made 20 grand free rent, so I was like, cool, I guess I'll try it for a year and never look back. Honestly, probably one of the best decisions I ever made.
Yes, sir. Pulled you out of a rut, I would say.
100%. It was going down a bit of a dark path there, so it kind of saved me.
Yep.
Love that.
Yes,
Glad to have you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this will be my 8th summer. 8 summers deep. Started in 2017. It's been a wild ride. It's been a grind. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of just consistency throughout the years to, just not get comfortable and, just keep running it back every year.
Yes. Quinn, best summer so far, if you had to say one. Just overall experience doesn't have to be.
Honestly, I would say the best summer in terms of just the culture, production on kind of all levels. I think every summer has been good and bad for different reasons and different perspectives. And I've loved every summer for different reasons, but I would say 2020, like going into COVID year, was just such a cool summer in the sense that like we were so scared going into it. Like we were like, dude, is this going to work? Like I had friends texting me being like, dude, how are you going to sell pest control this summer door to door? And I'm like, I don't know. And like, we had to keep this face of like, yeah, we're going to do it. It's going to be 100% fine. But then knowing deep down, it's like, is it actually going to be fun? And I just remember our first day, we had like masks, face shields, gloves. We had to have like hand sanitizer visible. And like, I remember being so scared to knock the first door, like standing 10 feet back. And then like over the next hour, I was like, oh, people don't really care. Like maybe, the odd person gets bent out of shape, but people were just like kind of just happy to talk to someone at the door. They weren't super concerned even about the COVID thing. And you can be the best sales rep in the world, but if no one's home, you can't sell anyone. So that was what we had to our advantage, was just way more people were home. We had, I think our first day, like we had like 9 or 10 sales rep. We popped off like 50 sales our first day.
Yeah, remember
crazy.
The first sale you made was that guy when I was shadowing you, was that guy that was with his wife and daughter. He was pushing the stroller and you literally just got him on the street and he told you to come back. I was like, okay.
I forgot about that.
This is actually like, this is real, fully face shielded up. It was pretty funny.
Evan sold like 7 his first day.
Which was a record. It was the top first day ever that somebody had in the company. Evan sold 7 or 8 accounts first day that he'd ever done the job.
Yeah, crazy. So we had a breakout year that year and we started way later into the season. And yeah, we had multiple reps, over 200 that year, rookie reps. And I mean, yeah, I think part of the reason was just more people were home.
Yeah.
So it just created an opportunity for more potential buyers.
And it's Alberta. Let's be real. Nobody really cares.
Dude, people were giving us a hard time for wearing the masks, not for wearing them in Alberta.
Alberta's a different breed.
Yeah. But yeah, that was awesome. I think one other thing it would be kind of cool for you guys to touch on is maybe just one of the more memorable scenarios for you kind of throughout the journey. I think that's a good one. But Noah, is there one that stands out to you that kind of, is the most memorable part, or getting started, or kind of this that, really resonates in your mind?
I can think of one right off the bat. Like, I actually was just talking to my dad about this the other day, but I was knocking in Oakville. I think this was like my second year, and I went up to this guy. He wasn't interested in pest control, and my whole goal always, like, going into this was like, I want a Tesla. And he had a brand new Tesla, brand new AMG, and I was like, hey man, like I love your two cars that you have on the driveway, like the Tesla, the AMG. Which one do you like better? And he's like, oh bro, like Tesla, like it's the best car I've ever driven. And he's like, you ever been in one? And I was like, no. He's like, you want to go for a spin? And I'm like, yeah, sure. So we start walking towards the car, and I've known this guy for like 90 seconds at this point. Just quick interaction, and he starts going around to the passenger side, and I look at him, I'm like, wait, so you want me to? He's like, yeah. He's like, you got your license, right? So we're just ripping around Oakville in this Tesla, and he's like, gun it. And I'm like, dude, we're in a residential area. And he's like, no man, gun it. And so yeah, we're whipping this Tesla, and that was like, didn't sell him, but like that's just an experience that, like, I think that's what the Doors allows, is like these super unique situations and interactions that, like, you just don't know. Like, every day that you go out, you could have the coolest thing that's going to happen to you, and you just don't know what's going to happen. And that's an experience that I will, like, take to the grave. I'll never forget it. I don't remember his name. I'll probably never see him again, but like, that was just,
He was that Tesla guy.
yeah, he was that Tesla guy.
Yeah.
That's sick.
One does come to mind that I probably haven't really mentioned.
Yeah. Just make sure it's PG-13.
It is PG, but like, actually, no, it's not.
I would say for me, while Noah rethinks of a new PG scenario, I wouldn't necessarily like boil mine down to one specific experience, but I would say in my first year, like the week of me feeling like I actually like am getting the job, and like realizing to myself, proving to myself that, you can actually do this. And especially too, like in that 2020 summer where I wouldn't necessarily say all odds against me, but my mom, she was like, you really shouldn't do this. Like, you're going out into a virus. We don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, no one did. But just being there that week that it all started to really unravel, and I'm like, okay, this is for sure. Like, people can do this. Doesn't matter what situation you're in. It was a crazy feeling, and I think like everyone who does this job can, relate to that to some degree, right? It's like when you really kind of get it and start to understand it, it's a good feeling. So I'd say that probably.
I like that. That kind of reminds me, like, the moment that I realized kind of just the power of sales. When I started out, I'd say for the first 2 weeks when I was out there, I was just signing people up. It was yes or no sales. I was just knocking hundreds of doors a day, which was like, do you want it? Yes, no, right? And then I just had the opportunity to go across the street and see Jordan Earl, just absolutely going through the sales cycle with a customer. The customer said, like, no, like, I don't think so. Like, try this next year. And like, I would have been like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll come back next year. And I was leaving those type of doors. I just didn't understand really like sales. Like, he'd said no to me. So to me, it was like on to the next one.
See you later.
Really, truly. Yeah. And when I saw Jordan just work over this customer just in such a professional, well done sales presentation, and he overcame objections. He had several no's, and the customer's name was Fred Jordan. He was an ex-athlete. He was really cool. He was very friendly. And I just couldn't believe when I saw that, what was possible. And then I just realized, like, oh, wow, I'm not just fishing out here, just trying to find somebody that needs it. Like, I can actually impact the decision more than I thought that I could. And when I saw that, my sales just started going through the roof. And, credit to Jordan for just like, being more persistent right off the bat. I think that can be a struggle for rookies getting started. They're just looking for the low hanging fruit.
Scared to close.
Exactly. That's definitely what I was doing. And, that just kind of opened my eyes to what was possible. And I really started to crank after that.
I thought of a PG one. It was probably my first day last year. Selling 15 accounts.
Oh, geez.
7-hour shift.
Yeah.
That was pretty crazy.
That's wild.
Heavy day.
Yeah. It wasn't even, like, I felt like I had something to prove to my guys that I brought out. Because I brought a bunch of my friends out. And it's like, I'm no better than they are. So when they saw I did 50 and Jeremy's like, okay, I'm gonna beat that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like all the guys saw that what's possible. And
Yeah.
you know,
Well, it is really a proof of concept thing too, right?
Absolutely.
Like they see that there's so much more. It's those it's that quote, whatever that quote is. You know, build walls, knock them down, or whatever it is, and
you build wall, you break through
break through
walls,
walls,
you push
feel
through.
nothing.
yeah,
feel
yeah,
nothing.
yeah, exactly, right. It's just like the level of almost expectation is just set that much higher, and especially within like a team too, when it's your like best homies, it's like, okay, if he's doing it, why can't I, right?
That was something that Door to Door Con really showed me. It's like those guys are nothing special. It's like, yeah, we tend to put these guys on a pedestal, and it's like there's no need for that at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
What do you think is just some of the low hanging fruit, like easy advice, like just must knows that you give to a rookie? Like if you go back in time and just like, I wish that I knew this, or wish somebody had told me this, and then stand out just so you kind of wish you'd understood.
For me, I feel like if I could go back, I would do this job as an unpaid internship, just because of how much.
Hey,
you
it's
learn.
not too late, bro.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen ourselves. But I just mean like you learn so much in the summer. But specific advice, I don't know. You guys got anything?
Yeah, I would say like just confidence, like really like and that's something that Quinn tried to hit home for me super hard when I came out, was just like, you know, leave it all out there, and because if it really, the accolades and the results you get towards the end of it are so much more of a better feeling than keeping your like ego in check while you're at the door, and just go out there, put it all on the line, be confident, because when you for lack of a better term, pussyfoot around it. Like it just, well, I mean, let's be honest, right? Like when you do that, like you're gonna cut your success in half, and like that's something that I want to come into this summer with way harder too. Is just like every opportunity you have, go for it. Every situation you put yourself in, just give it 110%. I think you'll be so much more successful. I mean, that goes for anything, right? But for the
I love
most
that.
part.
For me, it's just I wish somebody explained to me consistency over intensity. I just wish I knew that, dude. Because when I started out, like there's days where I would go 12, 13 hours, and I would do so like kind of unsustainably, understanding that like, hey, it's going to be a little bit slower tomorrow because I'm just going so crazy today. It was important later once I started to get consistent, just doing what I could, which was 5 or 6 accounts a day, but doing that every single day. And that started to stack up a lot faster than I would go 10 and then 2 and then 11 and then 1. And I was really having that back and forth, or that, roller coaster, just because I was trying to be so intense and really like beat people and maybe a little bit too competitive. And really when I started just internalize, focus on my own like kind of outputs, finding something that I could do every single day consistently. And also taking Sundays off. That was a big change for me. When I started, I wanted to make as much money as I could. So I did work Sundays, and honestly, I regret that, because again, it just put me in a situation where I was dead come like Monday morning and everybody else was going out there fresh and ready to go. And so I think for me, it was just, I wish somebody told me to be focus on being consistent over being intense and having your big days.
Yeah, because the sales rep who's going out there and just trying to bang out, a 10-day a week or every 2 weeks, that kind of thing. The guy who goes out and does even 2 to 3 every day, just consistently stays the same thing, will always come out on top. At least that's what I've found and seen.
Yeah, I love the quote. It's like, I think Jordan Earl said it like my first year, but he's like, who's the better sales rep? The sales rep that sells one, that knocks one door and sells one, or the sales rep that knocks 20 doors and sells 2, right? And it's like, oh, like who made more money, right? It's just like who got more sales. It's like the guy that knocked 20. So this job, it's cool because it doesn't like, you're depending on like your skill and your level of sales of what you've done in the past, like it doesn't really matter. Like we always say, winning doesn't owe you anything. Just because you won one day doesn't mean that you're going to win the next day. Everyone starts at 0. And that was a big thing for me too, is just learning consistency and to have that balance. Like my first year, I worked every Sunday, and it was just, I think Will did too, like another rookie that year, but we just got burnt out because we didn't allow ourselves to recharge the batteries, which actually produce more sales by recharging, because we just was like, let's just unplug for Sundays. So the years that I've even sold more were also the days where I took more time off, not unnecessary time off, but just the time off on Sunday to just recharge, reset. And then, just like controlling, I think for rookies is just controlling the things that you can control and just respecting the process. I think that in door to door, you're going to have the person that yells at you for no reason. That's just taking it out on the person at the door, not who, like, they're yelling at Jack. They don't know what Jack's done, what he's accomplished, the things that he believes in, his family. Like, they're literally just yelling at the guy that's at their door. And that's often a self-reflection of the bad day that they had. Maybe they just lost their business. Like, we don't know, right? There's so many variables that we don't know. So those kind of things, it's easy as a rookie to just, you get beat up over them. You're like, you think that it's a personal thing when it's not. It's really just the person just took it out on the door-to-door person. And when you can control those things and kind of like not get too high on the highs and not get too low on the lows, where it's like, if you have a good day, dude, tomorrow you start at zero. And that like your dictation of success is not defined by what you did the previous day, but what you do every day. So just every day, just focusing on the things that you can control, your energy on the doors, everything.
I'd say if I were to give advice to a rookie, it's don't ride the highs too high, don't ride the lows too low. Just keep level-headed.
Yeah.
So key.
Yeah.
100%.
So
You're so emotional when you start out.
It's the lows, man. Like the highs they're great. Like, of course, man. Of course they're great, but it's the lows. Like you start questioning yourself. You start wondering, if this is for me. Then all you don't know is that the next day is going to be another high, and it just took that.
That's why stay level-headed.
Yeah.
Stay level-headed.
I think the next thing I thought we should chat about is just the like most rewarding part. If you don't mind, I'll pose the question and also answer it first. And that was just that I think like the most rewarding thing, at least for me in this job, is kind of when you hear that rep later, 10 years later, talk about what they're doing now and how this job benefited them. I think for me, that's like the biggest reward that I get. We have so many Xvantage reps that are in tech sales. We have realtors that are topping like production charts that you see across the country. And the alumni that we've produced, it's special to see how many businesses, how many relationships, how many awesome careers have been developed from this foundational skill that they've developed on the doors, whether it's the leadership skills that they've developed from running a team or just the sales skills just from out crushing accounts. I think that's probably the most rewarding part of the job, is just hearing from people and how it impacted them positively, whether it's inside of our program or outside. Because for 95% of the people that do this job, it's a stepping stone. We understand that. That's why our training is geared towards teaching them transferable skills that they can take with them to what's next. So for me, that's always kind of been what makes it all worth it, all of the hard work worth it.
Absolutely. For me, it's definitely traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of reaping the rewards, like not having to worry about anything while you're out there, right? Like stuff's a lot cheaper in Southeast Asia,
Yeah,
so you can buy stuff and not have to look at the price tag.
Yeah.
And especially you can like make 6 figures here in the summer, and then you travel for like we did 4 months, 3 months.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, because like it's one thing to like and if this is your cup of tea, then great. Like if you want to go out there and just be budget Benny and go out and travel and like really be conscious of it, then of course like that's you. Then that's fine. Of course, like some people enjoy that kind of like frugalness, but to be honest, like it was nice just going out there and just really just being able to not even so much like buying things that you want, but the opportunity like, oh, okay, let's go do this boat tour. Well, it's $200. That was budget for a week in some people's books. No, let's go and do it, because those are experiences that you probably aren't going to get back anywhere else.
We did some crazy stuff out there.
We really did. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Somehow me and Quinn still managed to spend like $100 a night at dinner.
Yeah,
like
in Bali
for that week.
Bali's kind of expensive. Like it's expensive, but like
not really.
You're breaching more. It's Western prices.
The thing is, when you've done door to door and when you've done sales, it's like, yeah, you could budget or you could just make more money and you could just sell more. So it's like, why? Like, and I don't want to say like don't budget. Like you got to be smart, obviously, and like you don't be buying $1,000 Gucci wallets or anything. But like to an extent, like when you're traveling and things are relatively cheap, it's like, why not? Like you're only there for a certain amount of time. You're experiencing the good things you want to experience. It's like in sales, it's like when you can go out and make 1,000 plus in a day, like it's kind of like the budgeting doesn't seem as valuable then for those things, right? But yeah, I would say for me, just piggybacking off of what BQ said, like just like getting recognition from reps of like what you've put in. And I think often as leaders, like we don't get like the thank yous as much like it's just kind of the reality of the job. But like I remember one of the most touching ones was I got a handwritten note from an individual in 2020 who left a little early. He had some personal issues, and he left a handwritten note of just like how I've impacted his life, and just like, dude, those things are like,
Yeah, those are
like they make tear to a glass eye, right?
Yeah,
Like they
100%.
like those things. It's like, dude, you like, because this is such a crazy, interesting, different, like observe the masses, do the opposite type of job. This, like, the impact that you leave on people is so different from like your typical 9 to 5, or even like your typical sales job, like just from what you can learn in this period of time.
Yep.
And just like seeing the transformation within people of someone that comes out as a rookie that doesn't maybe have the best social skills, but is just hungry and just like wants to get it, wants to succeed. And within 2, 3, 4 months, just seeing the growth of who they are and like the energy that they put forth, even because of sales and what it's done for them, and being more confident in who they are, I think is super powerful. And then also just being able to like invest in things, I think, outside of door knocking, right? Like real estate, just different passive income streams, investments. It's not about so much the money you make, but the money that you can keep and then get that money working
Continue
for
to work
you,
for you,
as
yeah.
well, right?
Yeah,
So
for
Knock
sure.
doors to own doors.
Knock doors,
yes, sir.
on doors.
Full circle.
One realization that I've recently had is I will never go broke, because I can go knock doors whenever I want. And I think
true.
if you learn door to door, I can promise you will never go broke. Just 'cause
Yeah.
you can print money.
And you know what? People are
Like, you
people
literally-
are scared to take the commitment to do this job, whether or not you come out wildly successful or not. But it really does, like, open up many different pathways for yourself following, whether it's a monetary pathway or just skills wise for you to continue on to your next job. Like for me, wanting to go and do ski competing next year obviously would not be possible. Like for a lot of those guys that do it now professionally, they're chomping at the bit, scrounging for the next dollar, because it's hard to find off-season work, right? And for us, it's like, you have that 4-month stint or whatever it is through the off-season that can generate you, a decent amount of coin, and you're able to kind of transfer, put it into real estate, experiences, whatever the case be.
Let's get to the hard stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to hit on. I mean, like, what are the biggest challenges? What are the biggest barriers? What prevents people from being successful? And why do you see people fail at this? What are the pitfalls?
Fear.
I'd say like a discipline. If you don't have discipline on those days, because there's days you're out there, it's like,
So should somebody that doesn't have discipline not do this job?
no,
Or
you can learn it.
yeah.
Yeah, I think this job will teach you it.
I think it's taught.
Yeah,
I think if you can say right off the bat, you're like, dude, I'm not a disciplined person, this probably isn't for you.
Yeah,
Like, you need to be
I agree.
some level of discipline in order to
Yep.
succeed at this job. I think, it can be taught a little bit and learned.
But it could also
if
be
you just
transition too.
But dude, if
though.
you just know deep down in your heart that you're like, dude, all I like to do is play video games and I'm lazy, probably not for you. Like,
What-
you need
what-
to be some level
What if they're
of
disciplined in video games?
but
no, that's actually a good point, because it's like, dude, the thing is, what I've realized is like the people that are consistent at being undisciplined, they're still consistent at something. They're consistent at being undisciplined.
Undisciplined.
So it's like, if you can just transfer that consistency, if all you do is play video games 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, you just need to find that drive of being unconsistently consistent at something that doesn't benefit you, and just transfer that over to the doors, because you're still consistent at something. It's not a good thing to be consistent at, but you're still consistent at something.
Yeah,
What,
like
what, what percentage do you think is success dictated based on skill coming in? Like, they're well-spoken, they're great presenters, they have a silver tongue, versus work ethic, if you were to put it to a percentage?
Like 80-20.
80-20.
90-10.
90 to
Even,
like,
yeah.
And just to clarify, you mean
You-
just work hard.
Yeah.
Work
so
hard. And
80%, 90% work
Yes.
ethic, 10 to
Yeah.
20.
Jer-
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
yeah, Jeremy didn't train a single.
Don't
lick.
tell me that.
Whoa.
He didn't train
Yeah,
before the
hold on
summer
now.
at all,
Yeah.
and he came out.
Well, I want to preach the training. So I know that can happen.
Yeah,
and
not
I know that came
common.
down to work ethic. And I think that I think it was like a string of like 5 or 6 in a row where the top rookie in the company performed the best on the preseason exams before the summer started.
Yeah.
I don't think that's because they knew the content the best, but I think it's because those are the people that cared the most.
Bought in.
And when they showed up, they were the most bought in, they were the most committed, and they'd spent the most time thinking and preparing themselves mentally to go perform once the summer hit. So we really did see that direct correlation. It was spot on for 5 or 6 years. And it was cool because the way we used to run it was at the conference, whoever won the training preseason exam, we'd be like, cool, you're going to be the top rookie. And they were for 5 or 6
they
years.
just believed
Bring
it.
that back.
We should
bring back some sort of
yeah,
test
we
or
should do
something.
that. And we still have the exams. It was based on the Sales
Exam
Superstar exams, and it was really cool.
Door-to-door millionaire,
Door-to-door millionaire. Yep.
I want to go back to what we were just previously talking about and just drop in a last little thing on that subject, which is the discipline and whatnot. Like if you look on social media nowadays, right, it's like all these young dudes or women, either or, making money, Lambos, cars, get up, motivation, all this stuff. And if you're feeling like you were in a slump and you don't know what direction is, but you're seeing all this stuff and you want to take an actionable step towards whatever is your future is, like this is the job for you, in my opinion. Like if you're feeling like you want to make a change and you're ready to be disciplined, you're ready to get out of that rut, like I would say that this is absolutely a job for you to just be able to lock in for 4 months, prove to yourself what's possible, right? And be able to like go forward and say like, okay, I just did this for 4 months. What are the next steps for me? I've got some money in my pocket. Is it going to be an entrepreneurial venture? I come back and do it. I think we've seen a decent amount of people who have came through the company like that. No, like
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely,
Yeah.
dude. And I find when I ask those people like, "Hey, what was the best takeaway?" who came into it that way, the thing that I hear the most is just confidence, belief in myself that I could do something like that and do it the right way and be successful. And that's what it was for me. I didn't know I was capable of what I am doing now. Before I started this, I didn't know that my ceiling could potentially be as high as it now has become. And it's just simply from consistent applied effort over and over and over again and never quitting. And again, that confidence in yourself is, I think, what a lot of young people lack when they're starting out on any venture, certainly this one, but anything on entrepreneurial. You wouldn't have talked me into doing anything that was risky or starting a business or doing commission sales if I hadn't had the experience doing this first that was positive. So
And I think too, just speaking on that, like in today's world, like you have Instagram, you have this, you have that, and it's instant. Like people want this microwave mentality and in entrepreneurship and in life to get results. Like if you want to get a 6-pack and you're a little bit overweight, that doesn't happen overnight, over a week, over a month. Like it takes delayed gratification. So that's often people like want the shine, but they don't want to put in the grind of what it takes. And this job is like, you have that microwave mentality where it's like you get that dopamine hit like every hour, every second hour of the day. Like the top reps, it's like when you're selling consistently, it's not like, okay, like I have this interaction and then this person will close a week from today and you don't have that delayed gratification. So you're just constantly like, even though you shouldn't have that micro mentality, it's just that constant dopamine rush to keep pushing you forward every single day. Like when we go out, we don't like, are like, hey, I hope I get a sale today. It's like, oh, like the first one, sometimes it takes a little longer, but it's like, once you get that first one, for me, it's like, oh yeah, people buy this every single day. I just, okay, it took a little longer today. Maybe it took 2 hours. Maybe it took 1 hour. Maybe it was my first store. Maybe it took 7 hours because that's also happened too. But once you get that first one, it's like, oh yeah, people buy this every single day. And just like getting into that rhythm and just that momentum like every day.
just get addicted. Like I was so addicted that I couldn't quit my last year that I was knocking. I was in Vancouver Island, and I just couldn't stop because I didn't want to quit on a good day, even though I had other responsibilities.
Don't want to quit on a bad day.
Didn't want to quit on a bad day. I had leads that I wanted to go back to, and it was just one of those situations where I was ignoring other responsibilities because I was addicted to the doors. And it's funny, I miss it so much now because it's hard to replace. It's hard to replace the rush of making a sale, especially when you just absolutely do your perfect presentation.
That rush is something crazy.
no
it
better
is
feeling.
insane.
All right, I'll sign up for the year.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
like,
that.
bro,
All right.
it's like everything. All
right, do you take
have like
credit
a dump
card?
of adrenaline almost.
Amex
Like,
Visa.
Yeah, it's hard to replace. Well, hey, I think that just wrapping up, like maybe we could just talk about real quick and then we'll close it down, but just the thing that we're looking forward to about 2024 and what we're excited about for this coming year.
yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, me? Okay. Lots of things, man. Lots of things I'm excited for this year. I mean, I don't know, like I'm still very young, 22, but as I kind of went through this year and graduating university, I'm like, okay, it really is like, especially in this day and age, the sky's the limit in what you can do, whether it be this job or going forward. In terms of this job, I would say I'm just excited to run a successful team, give those boys, a really just solid experience coming to work for the company, what I've had over the last couple of years, and just hopefully A, make them walk away with some money in their pocket, but B, learn some new skills and turn them into great leaders. That's the
Love
ultimate
that.
goal.
That's awesome, dude.
I'd say what I'm most excited for is, well, one, I'm gonna have a rookie make 100K this summer.
Oh, please.
it's gonna
I need that,
happen.
dude. I'm
Yeah.
sick of Samo being the top rookie.
Yeah, it just depends on who wants it the most in my office. Like
Yeah.
it really does. And obviously, I'm super stoked to get my Golden Door Award in January from Sam. Kind of get that on stage.
I will be there.
Lock it in. Throw
be there
away
with
the
bells
key.
on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And honestly, just like seeing how the summer goes. Like top office is already a lock. With how many leaders that we have, like it's me, Evan Kiz, Jeremy Smith, Josh Cormack, and Ray Matthews.
That's actually crazy.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, it
like
is.
I would be
Yeah.
scared. Not to toot my own horn, but like I
No,
would be scared.
that's actually crazy. It's amazing the program you've been able to build in such a short time. Took me a lot longer.
Yeah, I have a note here. So the top rookie this year won't be, or it's not going to be who has the sharpest pitch or who did the most preseason training, although that does matters. It's about who wants it the most. And when the going gets tough, doesn't care how they feel because they do what is required. You decide what you want, decide what it's going to cost, and then pay that price. And I think like that is just like in a nutshell what this job is. Cause like, people who knock or like sell or do life based on how they feel will never outperform the person who acts based on what is required. Like, you know that to be the top rookie, you need to be knocking 8 hours a day, 6 days a week for the whole summer. But it's easy. It's easy in both realms where it's like, oh, I'm at 5 sales and it's 8 p.m. Like I'll let off the gas for the next hour. Or on the reverse, I'm at 0 sales and it's 8 p.m. Like today's kind of a write-off and tomorrow's a new day, right? So it goes to both sides. But I think the top rookie will just be the person who, no matter what, can consistently push through and really like leave no gas in the tank. And like everything is emptied every single day of the summer. But yeah, that's to the top rookie. I'm just looking forward to just like, yeah, building what we've built. It's getting pretty big. I had a call with a guy who knocked with us in 2020 the other day, and he's coming back. And I was just like, he was like, wait, so you guys aren't like running correlations in houses anymore? And like, just like, it's a lot, it's a lot different of like a real, not that it wasn't a real company before,
Fortune 500.
but yeah, like when you control the service and the quality and the synergy between sales, tax, admin, everything, it runs a way cleaner program. And just looking back to my first year to now, it's like leaps and bounds of what it was, just like sending in contract photos over Facebook and like doing the things that we did. It's gotten pretty big. So yeah, we have a lot of, Island region. Shout out. We got a lot of up and coming leaders, a lot of people that got like, they want a lot to prove this year of what they're capable of doing. So just excited to see them do it.
Oh man, I love that. I mean, for me, the thing that I'm just most excited about it, I just talked about how I don't sell anymore and how I miss that, but it's living vicariously through all the people that do. That's what does it for me now. And the other thing that I just look forward to in this year is just personally getting to know every single rep that we have. We will have over 400 reps.
Good luck.
No, it's a commitment I make. It's a
400,
commitment
that's
I make.
crazy to hear.
Every single rep that comes into this company, I want to have at least some form of a relationship with. I want to be able to know who they are, what their interests are, and certainly at the very least their name, and shake their hand and get to know them. Pest control is a people business. Door to door, it's a people business. So it's about how good can you be with the people who are going to work with you. And the first step is forming a relationship with them. If they're going to take part in our organization, I just want to know who they are and what they're about. And then I want to see them go to war and go to battle. And watching that competition is what fires me up. I'll be checking my laptop at 10 o'clock to see who's at the top of the leaderboard. It's just addictive for me just to see kind of those battles unfold.
Pulse check-ins.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just crazy because this isn't a job for me. This is a true passion. And the other side of it, I mean, we've built the biggest pest control company residentially in Canada. And we've done it in 5 years. And some of these companies that have been here for 40, 50, 60 years. And we're bigger than them. And we've done that with almost virtually no spend digitally or through traditional advertising. It's pure door to door.
Yeah.
But the reason door to door is having such a moment is because of the fact that old marketing and advertising doesn't work. How do all scams happen? Well, they happen on text or phone now. People are more reluctant to buy how they used to. They're more open to buying on the doors these days. And we're just reaping the rewards of that. We're Canada's biggest door-to-door company. We've expanded into other industries like telecom. We just signed a deal with TELUS. We're really excited about that. We're also doing solar this year as well. And as we grow this thing and it starts to kind of just get to where it is on the next level, I want us to look back on the things that Quinn talked about and be like, dude, I can't believe how small and like, unsophisticated we were. I want us to look back on now and feel that way in 5, 6, 7 years. And I think that we will.
Absolutely.
If we keep on the trajectory that we're on. So I'm just hyped, dude. We're so lucky to have the people that we have in our company. Again, it's a people business, and the people that we've collected to this company, it's insane. I look around the room and the talent level, it's off the charts. We have 86 managers in the company now, sales managers.
wild.
That is
It
crazy.
used to be Quinn, Will, and I. And just to see the growth, it's been awesome. So it's just a journey that's just so rewarding.
This company breeds winners. Coin it.
Absolutely.
Bang.
Let's get it.
If you want to be part of a family, if you want to feel valued, and if you want to make more than you ever have, come do this for a summer. Seriously.
drop.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Cheers.
Okay, awesome, boys.